She declared, "I'm not skipping girls' night just because your mom's in the hospital. She'll pull through." I didn't push back. When she returned the next morning, the barren apartment spoke volumes. My mother is the strongest person I know. She raised me and my sister single-handedly, juggling 2 jobs without ever letting us see her struggle. She showed me what devotion and selflessness mean. So when my phone buzzed on Thursday afternoon and I saw my sister's name, a chilling fear gripped me, the kind that only hits when you sense something's wrong with a parent. My mom had collapsed. She'd struck her head. She was in the hospital. I left work in a fog, my mind racing with worst-case possibilities. I called my girlfriend, Lena, on the way. We'd been together for 2 years, sharing my apartment for the last one. I thought we were committed. I thought we were forging a future together. "Hey," I said, my voice unsteady. "I'm heading to the hospital." Mom fell. It could be bad. There was a pause, filled not with worry but with music and laughter in the background. "Oh, come on, really?" she said, her tone dripping with irritation, not concern. "Tonight? This girl's night. We've got plans." I couldn't process her words. "Lena, did you hear me? My mom's in the hospital." "Yeah, I heard you," she snapped, her voice sharp with annoyance. "But what am I supposed to do? I'm not a nurse. I'm not ditching girls' night because your mom's in the hospital. She'll be okay. She always is." Her coldness struck me like a slap. My mother, who had embraced Lena as family, was reduced to a nuisance, a scheduling conflict. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. Something inside me just shut down. The part of me that loved her, that excused her growing self-absorption, went numb. "You're right," I said, my voice flat and hollow. "Go enjoy yourself." I ended the call and kept driving. For the next 8 hours, I sat in a stark, antiseptic waiting room while doctors ran tests. My sister and I clung to each other, paralyzed with fear. Around midnight, the doctor emerged. My mom had a concussion and a broken wrist, but she was stable. The relief nearly buckled my legs. She'd need to stay a few days for monitoring. As I sat by her bedside, watching her rest, my phone pinged. It was a social media alert. Lena had posted photos, tagged with her friends, grinning, clinking wine glasses at some trendy bar. The caption read, "Some plans are too big to break." In that moment, in the hospital's quiet hum, I knew our relationship was done. But this wouldn't be a simple breakup. It would be a complete overhaul. She saw my mom's crisis as a bother. I was about to show her what a real disruption looked like. She thought some things were too important to cancel. I was about to cancel her entire world. Update 1. I stayed at the hospital until dawn. I spent the night in an uncomfortable chair, monitoring my mom's vitals and plotting my next steps. The fear and sorrow from the night before had hardened into something sharp and focused. Determination. Lena hadn't just disrespected me. She'd disrespected my mother. That was a line she could never uncross. Before leaving, I spoke with Mom's doctor. He said she'd be released in a few days but would need constant care for weeks. She couldn't be alone. My sister had kids and a job she couldn't abandon. The duty fell to me, and I knew exactly where she'd stay. My first call was to a 24-hour moving service, not a typical one, but a firm specializing in swift, discreet corporate relocations. I outlined my needs. I wanted an apartment emptied, one person's belongings packed and moved to storage, and the remaining furniture stored elsewhere. I needed it done in 6 hours. The dispatcher quoted a steep price. I offered to double it if they could arrive in 30 minutes and finish before noon. They were there in 20. As they worked, I made more calls. I contacted my building's management company, explaining that my live-in girlfriend was no longer a resident and needed her key fob deactivated. Since she wasn't on the lease, it was a quick process. They confirmed it would be done within the hour. Next, I called my bank. Lena shared a credit card with me, which I mostly paid for. I reported it missing and had it canceled. I then secured my accounts, updating passwords and setting up alerts for suspicious activity. The movers were phenomenal. Like a silent, efficient swarm, they cleared the apartment in under 3 hours. Lena's clothes, cosmetics, books, her collection of overpriced heels. All of it was packed, labeled, and hauled to a storage unit across town. Then they removed the furniture, the sofa we'd picked out, the dining table, the bed. By 11 a.m., the apartment was an empty shell. It was perfect. It was a fresh start. My next call was to a medical supply company. I ordered an adjustable hospital bed, a walker, a shower chair, Everything Mom would need to recover comfortably. I arranged for delivery and set up that afternoon. Then I went shopping. I bought fresh linens, plush towels, and groceries. I stocked up on Mom's favorites. Her preferred tea, her beloved cookies, the word puzzle books she enjoyed. I was turning the apartment from a space shared with a selfish stranger into a haven for the most important woman in my life. Around 1 p.m., as I set up the hospital bed in the main bedroom, my phone buzzed. A text from Lena. So hungover. Heading home. Don't forget my dry cleaning. I didn't respond. I surveyed the bare apartment, the hospital bed in the center, and felt a deep calm. She was coming back, but not to the home she expected. She was about to face the fallout of her choices. The empty apartment wasn't just about payback. It was a declaration. It mirrored the void she'd shown me when I needed her most. Lena arrived around 2:30 p.m. I wasn't there. I was back at the hospital with Mom. But my video doorbell recorded everything. The footage is something I'll cherish forever. She approaches the door, sunglasses on, digging in her purse for her fob. She tries it. Nothing. She tries again, confusion creeping in. She uses her manual key. It fits, but the new deadbolt I had maintenance install that morning doesn't budge. Confusion turns to irritation. She bangs on the door, shouting my name. After a few minutes, she pulls out her phone. My phone on Mom's bedside table rings. I glance at it and reject the call. The footage shows her staring at her phone, stunned. She calls again. I reject it again. Panic sets in. She paces on the doormat, tugging at her hair. She calls her friends. Her voice a shrill wail the doorbell mic captures clearly. He locked me out. All my stuff's in there. Can you believe this guy? After 20 minutes of this public tantrum, she storms off. The texts poured in soon after. A deluge. They started furious, full of accusations and threats. Then they turned to confusion, asking what was happening. Finally, they became desperate pleas for me to call her. I didn't reply to any. That evening, I sent her one concise email. Subject: your new address. The email listed the storage facility's address, unit number, and access code, plus a scanned receipt showing the unit was prepaid for a month. It ended with one line: your belongings are safely stored. Please collect them at your convenience. The next day, the real battle began. Unable to reach me, she sicked her friends on me. They launched a smear campaign online, posting vague but vicious stories about a cruel ex who'd left their friend homeless with nothing. They painted me as a heartless tyrant. I was ready for this. I documented everything. Time-stamped posts of Lena's girls' night, the text about her hangover and dry cleaning. I compiled it into a single folder. I didn't share it publicly, that wasn't me. Instead, I sent it to a select group of mutual friends. The rational ones. The ones who'd known me for years. My email was brief and factual. You're seeing a lot online right now. Here's the full context of why I ended things with Lena. My mother's recovery is my only focus. The narrative shifted almost instantly. The story of Lena partying while my mom was hospitalized spread like wildfire. Her friends' vague attacks looked weak against hard evidence. 2 days later, I brought Mom home. I settled her into the master bedroom, her new hospital bed in place. The apartment was calm, a space for healing. That afternoon, as Mom napped, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Lena's mother. She started screaming, calling me cold and vicious. I let her rant for a minute. When she paused, I spoke, my voice even. Ma'am, your daughter chose to party with her friends, while my mother was in the hospital with a head injury. She told me, quote, she'll be fine. Then she asked me to pick up her dry cleaning. I've moved her things to a secure storage unit and provided the address. I've done nothing wrong or cruel. I've removed someone from my life who showed no compassion in a crisis. My mother is recovering in my home. She's my only priority. Please don't call again. I hung up. The silence that followed was the sound of a chapter closing for good. Final update. The weeks after were a blend of calm healing and distant chaos. My life centered on Mom's recovery. I took leave from work to care for her. We settled into a routine of doctor visits, therapy sessions, and quiet afternoons with puzzles and classic films. Having her in my home, in a space once filled with tension and superficiality, was a blessing. We talked more deeply than we had in years. She shared stories of her youth, of raising me and my sister. I saw her not just as Mom but as a woman of immense strength. The apartment echoed with her soft laughter, feeling more like home than it ever had with Lena. Meanwhile, Lena's world was collapsing. Her smear campaign backfired. Once the truth spread, she became a social outcast. Her friends, who'd fueled her selfishness, ditched her. Their world thrived on appearances, and associating with someone who partied during her boyfriend's mother's hospitalization was toxic to their image. Lena moved back with her parents. Her lifestyle influencer business, funded by me and built on social media, vanished overnight. No income, no apartment, no friends. She fought back, of course. I received a lengthy letter from her lawyer, filled with baseless claims of unlawful eviction and emotional harm, demanding compensation. I forwarded it to my attorney. He responded with a single page, a copy of my lease showing she wasn't a tenant, an itemized list of thousands she charged to my card, and a polite note that defamation carried serious legal consequences. Her lawyer never contacted me again. The final, almost tragic chapter came a month ago. Mom was improving, moving with a walker now. We were leaving a cafe near her therapist's office when I saw Lena across the street, exiting a shop. She looked different. The bold, arrogant woman I'd known was gone, replaced by someone weary and adrift. Our eyes met briefly. I saw a flicker in her expression. Guilt, regret, maybe a trace of her old self. I gave a small, neutral nod and turned back to Mom, helping her into the car. I felt no anger, no triumph, just a quiet pity. She'd chosen a night of fleeting fun over basic decency, and she was living the consequences. Mom's nearly fully recovered now. She's moving into a senior living apartment nearby next month. She's eager for her own space, but I'll miss her here. This ordeal, as painful as it was, brought us closer than ever. I learned something profound. Sometimes the strongest move is to walk away. No yelling, no fighting. Just choosing your peace, your loved ones, and their well-being over the drama of those who don't deserve it. She thought my mom's health was a nuisance. In the end, the only thing canceled was her, and my life is infinitely better for it.